Hello, dear Your Honor Judge Napolitano. There is a former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, who has recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with actually recorded evidences with Mueller involved with racketeering with them, with sequence shifts, with crimes with a whole bunch of people leading up to and in the Trade Center attack context, Ninth Circuit, a proven tied sequence shift, post-dated documents proven after had been post-dated and presented to the panel of judges right before the Trade Center attack, post-dated from inside the Ninth Circuit. That proven led up to a 2006 case with former director of the FBI and his co-defendants, a bunch of them, and other federal criminals tied to those federal criminals already from other stuff, and their family members are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering with news, with former director of their co-defendant, their lawyer, Robert Chevrolet, involved also with locations on and off there, people involved with mail crimes, male families involved criminal uses of corners of streets, UPS, on and off the state judicial branch offices, racketeering rolls with a Faenza family, a whole bunch of people on and off Two Route Highway, also with the on and off the state judicial branch offices, men and women involved, pretending to perceive things, offensively pretending to record things at the same time, acting because they're hiding lie progressions, because they're involved with people all along routes leading up to the state judicial branch offices, on off its location, Weathersfield Pizza a little bit beyond it. Whole bunch of people tied to and as people associated with that, their family members, all the way straight up that route to Cromwell, right through Weathersfield, all those corners of streets, houses near it, and excuse me, were involved with the actually recorded racketeering, other natures of crimes, fake news, excuse me, identity thefts. News stole my identity. They forced a principal child offender, women judges involved with that, women state's attorneys preventing me free speech. They have how CCSU is involved with state police, racketeering confessions and requests for help from people leading up to the Trade Center attack and after it, criminally involved with CCSU from off campuses, attaching me and other people through time to fake locations with other people, fake ties to other people, attaching kids to fake locations, fake relationships to doctors through time. There's a Dr. Laura Sanders, who was living next to the school, the principal's child offender. There are other houses on each of the three natures of corners on that street involved, even with Russians. These are people with Russians on and off Paul Manafort Drive of CCSU. These are people involved with racketeering on and off CCSU through time, with an Abruzzi family, with each of the departments at CCSU involved criminally through time, from off campuses maintained though. They're using the identity of the campuses by that way. They're using from off campuses maintained on and off campuses like Trinity College through time. This is also fundamental to how it was George Washington College first. This is also fundamental to how George Washington had to leave overt slavery with Cumberland and Weathersfield, Hartford, right before the last battle of the Revolutionary War, even with the French general's help, which is proofs that he was factory nature slave. He didn't have free speech. He didn't chop down the fake branches. He only did partially. So anyway, fake news is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated when more child offenders with the school's intercities tied. There's a Dr. Laura Sanders further with the school. There's the people further with the school on and off rolls with it further with the principal child offender. These are women judges, black and white women judges, forging names, switching names with child sex offenders, attaching me and other people to fake conversations, and with our own family members. They're attaching little kids to fake locations. Dr. Sanders and people associated with WTNH and Fox Connecticut News and WFSB are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with interbranch state prosecutors and state's attorneys. Now they're also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with acting departments, and with undercover police used for crimes with overt criminal enterprises in collusion with the Justice Department, Washington, D.C., racketeering, also uses of, again, each age of fact sheet nature has sickly, distinctly impositions upon it per what is hiding, what is in, sickly, non distinctly through time. These are people on off the Fox Connecticut news location. There are a whole bunch of doctors associated with and police forms with badges, doctors associated with database racketeering, with crimes with mail and various natures of agencies, judges, and stuff on off those locations. Two Mendez police, their family members, and men and women tied to them. Two Domain police, their family members, and a bunch of men and women tied to them involved further with racketeering, with identity thefts, fake news, falsified police report rolls, on off Fox Connecticut News being coached to prevent mandated law. See, they're pretending mandated law means just to report something to someone else when they know that they're doing worse than that because they were involved with making up things with those people. So they know they're not following mandated law just by doing that. They're pretending that they're doing tricks with fact sheet nature, forging names, switching names into brands, switching names, making confessions to me and my family members when they were still forcing the principal sex offender. Now they have a whole bunch of men and women doctors recorded forging names, switching names, drug crime rolls, criminal uses and physical delusions and criminally foreign influence, fact cheating nature, racketeering methods, and natures actually recorded with mental diagnosis, with psychology, originally and still. You can't defend that and pretend we're free. They need the free speech. There's a Dr. Leahy that forged names, switched names, had whole fake conversations with me about agencies, pretended I had conversations with him about police forms, so, filming my father or trying to record him. Now he's also involved with a whole bunch of medical families and interbranch family members involved with the Weathersfield police chief's daughter is involved with the principal child sex offenders campus, and him involved with them and his extended family member, the members like a Mazzucato family, people associated with the two bakeries on Franklin Avenue, involved further with a Fred Grisey and people with drug dealing and racketeering roles with databases with them through time were actually recorded. Two Mendez police were involved with that. Sequence shifts, forging names, switching names, attaching me to fake conversations, fake locations through time. They were as police brothers, interbranch criminal uses of the Weathersfield police officers and New Britain Superior Court with their tricks, pretending to perceive things, pretending to record things in databases. The recorded confessed involved with the judges. These are Sandy Hook, Newtown families, people associated with the fire departments, with the training of them, intercampuses of each age and nature, recorded further racketeering roles with their patients and criminals before they were in there, including, especially regarding the principal sex offender, because we have state's attorneys and prosecutors recorded sickly through time, but having pretended conversations with me, having been pretending evidences, fake recorded things into databases through lifetimes, having or before they were prosecutors, they were involved with ones attaching me and my family member to fake words. They prevented anything in writing my entire life. They have criminal uses of a whole bunch of other campuses, other boxing gyms in Connecticut, recorded through the same people involved with racketeering uses of CCSU with state police. Their family members in my area through time, a whole bunch of ways involved with racketeering with houses in my area, fake news crime acts. I can't get a response. Fox Connecticut News is recorded, confessed, and demonstrating being coached to cover up child sex offenders, further involved with the principal sex offenders campus. There are also doctors on off of locations around and next to like a school next to a and as Lena's Pizza, involved with all kinds of foreign and domestic racketeering, also with overt drug clicks, also with all undercover people involved with wire crimes, mail crime moles, a crime method where they make all these confessions from strangers. They're forging names, switching names, tricking people to get into locations by switching names too, because they have that name shared thing, like a whole bunch of people with the name Alicia from here to New York City involved criminally. So a whole bunch of people with the corner of Fox Connecticut News also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated a Dillon family, a Sean Dillon, Kevin Dillon, Anna Dillon, involved with judges and with police forms criminally with my new and past neighbors with untimely deaths, military, foreign, and domestic, involved with them Facebook uses. But a whole bunch of people with Hartford Hospital Institute of Living with courts using Facebook for sexual harassment. And they forced the principal sex offender with rape threats when they were still forcing it with the uses of New Britain Superior Court's Facebook page. Now, these are also people involved with all kinds of FBI and CIA and their family members with racketeering acts and actually recorded natures as criminal and serious nature, forging names, switching names, mail crime rolls, wire crime rolls. I can't get a response now, too. This Leahy family, I don't know where they live too, but they're involved with the Brian Silver and other prosecutors like a Soulsby, long-standing and more recently standing women prosecutors and states attorneys also forging names, switching names, falsified police reports, fake conversations with me behind my back, categorically sustained. Whole bunch of these are a whole bunch of people recorded and confessed on and off the buildings of downtown Hartford with the clubs. These are also people criminally involved with the FBI on and off the FBI New Haven location. They're all with database racketeering originally, still the delusions raw. They don't talk about what used color. They talk about our founders as slaves. They don't even show how they have their identity stolen then and now. So they have glorified. You can't defend. They have our founders' identity stolen, so they can't defend Marbury versus Madison. Honestly, these are trick factory in nature with the weapon of the courts and of guns, preventing free speech as gun crime rules, drug crime rules, formal and informal drugs. There are crimes with overt criminal enterprises, the witness protection program tied to the area. These are people former director of the FBI down. His federal criminal co-defendants involved with a whole bunch of natures of racketeering through each of the campuses I went through the same families. One that came in fourth grade with a Phil Colello as an extended family member, further recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with a whole bunch of people with them, an O'Brien family, people associated with the intelligence community on all Fox Connecticut News, state police involved, medical families involved, database racketeering involved, houses on off those locations involved with them racketeering with prosecutors, people pretending to perceive things, pretending to record things with them. They're recorded, confessed with their whole families involved criminally. Now I can't get in put anything in writing because they were acting, because they're pretending to perceive things while they're pretending to record things. The pretended recorded things are proofs that they're pretending to perceive things. Fox Connecticut News, WFSB, and WTNH are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involve racketeering with the Wethersfield police chief with uses of his daughter and his foreign and extended family members. These are people also with the educational department with a police in the principal sex offenders campus. But the principal, when I was there, he has a daughter I didn't know when I was there. But I know that she has a boyfriend involved with this criminally pretending these record sequence shift roles with them, crimes with like Quinnipiac, with polling, with evidences, with the sciences where their physical delusions wrought. Those are criminally foreign influenced statistical and uses of them. Like Governor Malloy, he will not respond. He's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with retired and standing judges and prosecutors with child offenders. Whole bunch of people with Newtown, Sandy Hook, and whole bunch of people with forensics clicks, all crime acts roles with the same house slash yes in my area, recorded and confessed and demonstrated involved crimes further with the family members of and as the federal criminal co-defendants of former director of the FBI. They're also involved with racketeering with the Britain Superior Court through time as child abuse people first forced roles for retired and standing judges like a Judge Smith I had to write a complaint against. Wasn't even bad. I should have been. I was too young to understand how to counter because everyone's fake sides. They directed people to act fake sides of correlation nature, which is a trinity. Demonstrably, they have fake sides, physical delusions, and lied about middles. With what they say, oh, so this person committed a crime, this person didn't. They're doing that with physical delusions, knowing they are sick, high predators, worse than the innocent people, and then even the most of the people they put away for things. Boxing. They have East Hartford through time involved with the families, men and women with CCSU that anticipated that. Those are the people who criminally anticipated criminal uses of on off Trinity College through time. These are election crime acts rules, uses of town offices. They can't have an election now. They have retired and standing mayors involved further. I have to beg to respond to rape threats by New Britain Superior Court's Facebook page while they were using that to force the principal sex offender with the past principal's daughter involved with with the English department guy, who apparently her husband, and with the past boyfriend involved also with the people racketeering with the New Britain Superior Court drug clicks. People are with the houses around on the corners and tied with criminal uses of the corners of that street of the principal child offender. These are also people crime acts roles with houses next to and locations next to, like the Samuel Dix house next to the middle school and the high school. Mike Pandolf and his brothers and family, others, Fianza family also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated federal crimes on off the state judicial branch offices leading up to and in the 2006 case that they were criminally involved with, leading with people leading up to and in the Trade Center involved case criminally involved with them. And I don't know them. They make confessions from strangers so they can pretend impressions, so they can pretend not to realize, impressions tied to falsified police reports, all kinds of databases racketeering associated with that, pretending to perceive things, pretending to record things. So they're preventing mandated law and pretending other. They're pretending mandated law just means tell someone else. And that's being trying. I'm trying to report that too, but they're not. They're not doing that, and they're not. Also, they're also not recorded themselves preventing mandated law by forging names, switching names, telling fake news to steal me to fake words, fake ties to doctors when I was a kid. These are people involved with my new and past neighbors with various natures of Anna Dillon, Sean Dillon, Kevin Dillon, involved foreign and domestic military cliques, drug cliques in my area. They have fake conversations with me. They have this crime method where, yes, they make people make confessions, and then someone he waves or has someone else wave and demonstrate they're all connected to a pattern of lie progressions since their racketeering acts roles actually recorded when I was a kid with the databases, forging names, switching names, sequence racketeering, uses of black families that are now as adults, black and white women judges involved with a black guy I don't know the name of, a victim predator when I was a kid, involved with another one before that with sequence racketeering. A Mike Roberts and other people on and off the Weathersfield Police Department, on and off the state judicial branch offices clicks. I never saw him off the same clicks with it. Fake sides. Sequence just with a person that used the name Bayrock, too. That's implied tied to, like, their games with these fake sides. Whoever becomes president, they're criminally foreign influence. Their delusions are all victims, but victim predators. We have nations shared sick with psychology. All kinds of racketeering uses of that, all kinds of racketeering uses of a whole bunch of families from my town with Trinity College that they faked media conversations with and on campus. I never had conversations with people on campus. And if you have a conversation with a person on campus, they're going to put you in a different position and they're going to sequence shift. They're going to take fake words. They're forging names, switching names. Even of deans are involved with forging names, switching names on off campuses, racketeering roles. A former, people associated with various natures of courts on off, especially triage probate courts. These are sick with elderly homes with the troop, with the VA also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with a whole bunch of racketeering with Hartford Hospital. On the campus of Hartford Hospital, founded in 1822, is Hartford, New Britain, is the Institute of Living with slavery still in Hartford. Our founders left us to crush these fake integrity of logic natures. See their logic as criminal insidious nature, needing to pretend not to realize that they can't explain how logic is supposed to protract actually, because they are criminal insidious nature, self-value, and how criminally. So logic with no criminal foreign influence See, we have criminal insidious natures of positive self-value. So they can't teach about positive course, which is positive and negative at the same time, perfecting identity. See, but now altogether we have individual nature or volume. We are grouped, and altogether species nature or volume. We have this course now led it's science. We don't have free speech. Through time, they've been attaching. These are racketeering roles and uses of everyone through police forms, like two Mendez police, a Phil Colello, and other people associated with the houses in my area with the drugs through time, and the sex offenders and the police forms and the judges involved racketeering people associated with them, forensics clicks associated with this, a whole bunch with this Phil Colello and the other extended family members of the Ray Colello and his sister and family that stole my identity. Pretend I had conversation relationships to their friends just because they were in my grade. His cousin Phil Colello, I never hung around with them. Never even saw him in my area when he was a kid. He was in my grade though. They need to pretend I was friends with Joe DeMoro, Ray Claw. I even told their sources. They asked me that, tried to establish that. I said no, it's just my neighbor, Ray Claw. Joe DeMoro tricked me. I didn't know he was going to be in the thing. And with Eric Jensen, Mike Roberts recorded, confessed, and demonstrated interstate crimes, faking things recorded, sequence shifts, identity racketeering roles with databases, with houses in my area. Living in Newington when he went to the house when he went to the class they put me in with him. That location, the hallway zone, they do time things. These are people also various natures of police forms with the Wethersfield police and with the ones that went to my school by two Mendez police forging for pretended recorded conversation with me with Genito Mendez, Eric Mendez outside of New Britain Superior Court, criminal uses of Wethersfield Police Department with child sex offenders, with drug clicks, with their recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crime roles with drugs and with databases, fake conversations, fake location ties to me when I was a kid. These are a whole bunch of people with training of telling how communications people how to lie and pretend other whatever. They have Central Connecticut State University, all victims, but all victim predators. Everyone's speaking through other. Whole bunch of people associated with the Dillon family, with my new and past neighbors. Further, with the child offenders, their new and past real estate agents, preventing. I don't even know their names. They want to pretend all kind of. They want to pretend thing because they know the judges are already involved with them criminally. They have various natures of judges and police forms, interbranch and private and foreign and domestic and overt criminal enterprises and private ones, recorded crime acts roles with a whole bunch of people tied to and as my new and past neighbors. They don't even know really the extent of it because they're real estate agents associated criminally involved. Their roles with prosecutors involve criminally intercities, spots intercities, criminally confessed and recorded and demonstrated involved. People making confessions as them and tied to them. I can't get a response. They're not following mandated law. They're pretending other. They're playing fact cheat nature racketeering tricks. There's a Sue Saunders and other people associated, like doctors, Saunders, and stuff associated with houses on and off campuses. She moved from the campus over here, rolls with people involved with the drugs on and off campuses, mail crimes, wire crimes, fake news crime acts, identity theft crime acts, roles, spreading illusions through kids through time with overt criminal enterprise. Joshua Julian recorded with them with Facebook, criminal spreading lies with overt criminal enterprises, stealing my identity, preventing me counters to his crime acts rolls further with the principal sex offender, Joshua Julian. See, we have women, how we have women into branch and people women they're talking to these people associated with the house slash ish in my area with this Joshua Julian. I don't know where he lives. He's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by the people with the family members and stuff involved further with the child sex offenders, further with the judges retired and standing criminally involved, further with their state judicial branch offices and houses on and off it involved criminally. People walk that on and off it timed like when I was running by there. The people on off the state prison offices also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with a Cuddy family, with a whole bunch of forensics clicks involved. For example, the state forensics lab, doctors of psychology recorded physical delusions, racketeering acts, and racketeering methods and natures actually recorded involved with their patients and criminals before they get caught. Forging names, switching names, pretending to perceive things, pretending to record things. They're, you know, they're preventing people from having lawyers. They have criminal uses of lawyers also recorded where they make fake originally and still. Those lawyers weren't representing anyone with color. They still don't. They're sick because they're victims of criminally foreign influence sciences, intercampuses, roles with what is sickly hurting each age consciously, recorded consciously, sickly distinctly, so they effectively have kept and keep everyone from sickly seeing how sickly to non-distinctly. Each nature of city is in the same exact trap. It's a fact treatment nature trap. So they're making me beg, and there's a woman named Saunders who's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. I never had a conversation with her. There were other women, and there's a house of a Dr. Gilmore who pretended he had a conversation with me. He has a wife and other people associated with CCSU, with the English department, with the acting department, with them, and with other departments with them, with racketeering and with medical crimes and with child sex offenders, with doctors, foreign and domestic, real sick people associated with various natures of courts, real sick with their whole family members. We have a Judge Killian, other judges associated with a Dr. Brendan Leahy, his son with a Brendan Leahy, other sons, other brothers of his, that Brendan, and the son of the father, sons of the father. They have other women in their family involved with there that work with a triage place. Now, you guys know that they put triage for mental evaluation of people who have to raise their voice sometimes because they have gun crime rules, bug spray crime rules, and threats with child sex offenders. And they're doing this game where everyone's making confessions through other people. You don't know other people's names, and then they're this Dillon guy waving every once more two times in my life he did that. These are also the people who stay involved through time with him criminally. Whole bunch of names. I shouldn't have to use the names. In other words, why should I have to? They want me to use other people's names because I don't even know them. They want to make it look like and sound like I know them. Because I'm talking about the crime acts. You guys are not letting reported. Fox Connecticut News is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated this way, involved with a whole bunch of racketeering with elections already. They hid this right through the Obama administration. Every day when I talk online, they're lying because they've been using Facebook with New Britain Superior Court, Hartford Hospital, other natures of departments of hospital. They have real some sick people associated with that place, with child sex offenders, with a whole bunch of drug clicks in my area involved with the medical families, with this Leahy family, with houses with a Marco Mancini, his brothers, his family, his neighbors are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with WTNH, a whole bunch of people with the New Haven FBI on off these involved with them racketeering. You rolls with the clubs downtown Hartford, right around the corner from Fox Connecticut News. As the people involved with Fox Connecticut News, a whole bunch. I never had a conversation with a Charlie Bowes in my life. Him and his family are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involves racketeering with kids, with various natures of agencies, judges, and interstates people, drugs, downtown Old Weathersfield. They're involved with racketeering with the medical clique, especially. We have sick medical. We have psychology. They can't defend their physical delusions. They're recorded conscious criminal uses of they have mental diagnosis where they pretend people said people were following them, and that means they're a diagnosis. They pretend I had a conversation with this Leahy guy about my father. He's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated federal crimes with the federal criminals my father beat in an LRB case as a pro se litigant, and there was ongoing a case slash S with my father had a pro se civil RICO case against former director of the FBI and his federal criminal code defendants and a whole bunch of people tied to them recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes against me and against little kids leading up to the Trade Center attack, leading up to a 2006 case. All crime acts rules first facilitated to that on off CCSU. As the people involved crime acts rules when I was in grammar school, all bunch of natures of subtle crimes. And then when I was in, they capitalized that on middle school and high school. They're attaching people to fake locations, fake relationships to others. Like so, there's a Janito Mendez and Eric Mendez recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with a whole bunch of men and women further on off the middle school, further on off the principal child to sex offenders campus, further on off drug spots next to the high school and the middle school with the same cliques. These are sexual circles that also, you know, like one time at a Mike Roberts' house, they wanted to have a threesome with a girl, and I don't even know the girl's name. I never had a conversation with her. People speaking through other people. And when like say this person's going out with this girl, so these girls are talking about this, they're gonna know about it before another guy. None of those people are my friends. They're not going to tell that. These are people that are involved with racketeering, with overt criminal enterprises, with police forms, foreign and domestic. Former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, is with these sequence shifts and with these mail crime rolls and with these town offices recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. AT&T with them. Crimes, mail crimes. That's through administrations. These are people crimes of Russians. Now there's a Russian lady. We have Russians involved with fire departments and with jobs like associated with Hartford Hospital campus involve crimes with the child sex offenders. I can't believe that you still have psychology thinking for you guys into branch. Please, Your Honor, please at least give me a response in writing because they're preventing writing since I was a kid criminally because they have a whole bunch of crime methods and acts and natures they're preventing from being recorded. See, criminal insidious nature. They need to hide now. They have real sick women from like little kids, real sick in their heads, minds, and souls. As prosecutors, they don't have the integrity to be prosecutors. They need to get my name out of their head and stop pretending they have conversations with me and stop speaking through each other. And they need to get out of those courts. And I need to know who denies that so I can have them demonstrated that needing that the real reality. We have a Brian Silver further recorded, confessed by people tied to him as one of the prosecutors involved further with Scuba Shack and people further involved with child sex offenders, drugs, and that location, Coles, shared policing, a whole bunch of places on the end of Town Line Road, on off Town Line Road businesses and so stuff like that, even associated with the highest. What is it? Senator Joseph Lieberman, his wife reportedly confessed and demonstrated involved with probate judges and stuff like that associated criminally with a Mike Pandoff with prosecutors and with identity thefts and with pretending to perceive things, influencing people, criminal uses of the identity, there's locations there, whole bunch of foreign and domestic nations like Bosnia associated with what brought us into World War One. What really brought us into Civil War. We weren't free yet. What brought us into the Civil War brought us into the World War II. One still not free too. They were in collusion. Joseph Mengele. That's not real science. And they weren't trying to be slick there. They want that to be remembered. Fake science. All we need is recorded mandated law. You guys have for worse than forsaken Hartford, Connecticut through time. All where they have all the flowers and the dead bodies, not by accident. That all on the other side of the parking lots from the big Fox Connecticut News building. So they have a dead guy, Nipsey Hussle painted on there. Little concrete skate park. I don't know how many of the kids in North End of Hartford have skateboards. And I shouldn't have to beg. Now, see, these are people that were criminal uses of each of the campuses I went to. These are a whole bunch of drug cliques with overt drugs, with this Leahy family also involved with this Brian Silver Now he's this Leahy family attached me to fake conversations with Brian Silver is a prosecutor. These are real scary, sick people to fight with, Your Honor. So please get them on paper. I can't get a response since I was a kid from this New Britain Superior Court. Other courts and their family members with judges real sick, like a Delaferro family, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated criminally involved with the people associated with probate court judge and other judges and people associated with them with Town Line Drive, wherever they have shared policing of the Stop and Shops, all kinds of racketeering with them with foreign and domestic, Bosnian, Los Salidos, Italian criminal enterprises. Their uses of the witness protection program, also directly and indirectly tied to a house next to me, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with some interreligious cliques trying to start fights with smoke. Make smoke come through my thing. They said the day before I had a fire. Next day they're on the roof with a leaf blower, and just by accident, I look over, I see smoke coming. Thank God I saw it coming because I didn't close the flue. There's smoke coming in the stream, like how in the middle of the day, and some other guy has smoke coming out of his house the whole time. This is supposed to be reported. This is one of the houses. I don't even know these people's names, and it's nothing personal. And then I complain about that. All of a sudden, the smoke stops, like all these logs in the guy's front yard driveway. And a guy with a leaf blower on the roof, and then that's the timing. Just by accident, that's when the smoke comes through. Now these are people with online Facebook rape threats and confessions and demonstrations of their crime acts roles, uses of Facebook pages of New Britain Superior Court with it Dave Knerr, ERICKNERR. Those Facebook pages are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated uses of New Britain Superior Court's judges, prosecutors, and state's attorneys involved with crimes of child sex offenders, especially if made up. Now, these are people also involved with state's attorneys and state police, racketeering with fake news that is not, even if they have the legal right to it, because they're training, shared policing, and stuff like that. All that's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the racketeering with them. They have a Vega family, and they have a whole bunch of people. Mike Pandolf recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by Wethersfield Police associated with them with racketeering with Wethersfield Police Department, with New Britain Superior Court, and with the houses on off the locations through time. Now these are people also crimes with election spots, town offices, a Kerr family, a Jerry Miller also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes with two Jerry Millers, Jerry Kerrs, a Kerr family, a Michael Kerr. I don't know his mother's name. They have extended family members associated with Maine. Also reportedly, where they have the witness protection program, which is directly and indirectly with the FBI with criminal uses of it with my area, with the house with the guy was standing on with the leaf blower right before the smoke started coming in, and the house with the smoke was across the street. I don't know what they did there. Now these are people with the fire department also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with Fox Connecticut News, WTNH, and WFSB racketeering roles and uses of Wethersfield Parks of the DMV. They have they have a softball game together. The media recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with them, with that Kerr family, with people they told lies to in the past. They use like perception. There's a little path that goes into those woods on both sides of it. I don't know if there's three of them or haven't, but in other words, there's through those paths recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with state police racketeering, Wethersfield police, with fire departments, other police for shared policing the store of the schools, like a Phil Colello, and two Mendez police for further recorded involved with drug crimes and with sexual crimes with interbranch drug cliques, with interbranch sex offenders cliques, further involved with other natures of racketeering with the people on the child sex offender registry when they were still using them for other natures of crime then and now. They need to respond, follow mandated law. They don't follow it. their sequence shifts and making up things about people on Facebook. And then they pretend it's about passion. Oh, we're against the mean speech. They threaten rape with the Britain Superior Facebook page. These are sequence racketeering natures. I shouldn't have to beg. I've been begging. If you call on the phone, Fox Connecticut News, they're recorded, confessed, demonstrating being coached to collusion with the national news, criminally foreign influence. These are trade center predicate acts, clicks, interstates, in and outside of courts, criminal uses of various natures of police forms and their family members. Real sick. Criminal uses of medical families that have nothing to do. Everyone's speaking through everyone else. State police forms, their family members criminally involved. FBI, CIA, their family members recorded criminally involved. This Joshua Julian, a whole bunch of people further with the Britain Superior Court, Hartford courts involved further uses of Facebook of the schools for federal crimes with kids, even sexual, even rape threats. Then they're on TV with this lawyer Sanders. They're interviewing her all the time. Give the other people. They won't put other sides of stories. They just attach me to fake words. They did evidence fabrication, racketeering, sequence shifts, WFSB, pretending me to fake words. That pretended my family members to fake words with federal criminals. My family member beat an NLRB case, and one was going on at the time of my father's death. The same people that they brought into with crimes against me and all bunch of little kids. And their sequence shift, we're trying to pretend things from the background, putting nothing in writing since I was a kid. They made people forget about this. You either give up being integrity as positive, or you just play as they told. Everyone's speaking to others sickly. Shouldn't have to beg you, Fox News, to fix these state scenarios, inclusion with you guys. And I don't have time to, 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 to show how you guys are victim predators. I can only have time to talk about what's actually recorded, which you guys are pure predators. Please fix that. Please sacrifice. Please get them out of there. Fox Connecticut News. Are they out of their mind with these two Mendez police and the Domain family? I don't know their parents' names. And Adam Domain and a Mike Domain. I barely know. I only know him from seeking me out to make confessions of his roles with this since he was a kid. Crimes with the prosecutors and the courts and the police forms criminally involved in their family members and with overt criminal enterprises, various natures of them, and undercover with Los Solitos associated with Fox Connecticut News, racketeering acts and roles on off Hartford Hospital, on off other locations like Fox Connecticut News, like the buildings next to it. A whole bunch of people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated racketeering with people on off Two Road Highway with identity thefts against me. The fans of people, I only know them from confessions about that, demonstrations about that. I don't know them. Their neighbors are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also crimes with CIA, attaching me to fake conversations about the CIA, uses of Facebook for that, so they can pretend delusions people pretend to perceive it as evidences. We have all kinds of sick evidences natures. We have the stewards of Sandy Hook and Newtown prisons recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes with child sex offenders, with election crimes, right through administrations too. This is right since before the Trade Center attack. I've been asking in straight line forms, military, foreign, and domestic, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated confessions to me. Criminal uses of deans, forging names and switching names. It's getting worse since. There are family members involved criminally. They're with drug clicks. The patients, the deans with family members that are mentally diagnosed ill. They're involved racketeering with their patients and criminals. These are sick, sick deans. These are sick, sick people with the faith, with the religions. Dean Keys associated with and then they bring in black and white. And who wants to complain about anything that someone, we have Americans are more sickly hurt if you're black. And that's not by accident. That's not by prejudice, racism. That's per the crime method that's called worse than divide and conquer. It's called worse than not free speech, worse than no mandated law, Worse than no integrity with the Weathersfield police chief, with his own daughter involved with the racketeering with this nature. You need to get them onto the paper because her extended family members involved with others with the various natures of departments at CCSU, Trinity College, further involved intercities, with the kids sick through time, and with the database already. That's why they're pretending that they don't realize they're actually recorded criminal, those databases in the background. Fake forging names, switching names, fake conversations with people. We have real sick, stacking the amount of names, quantify, pretending that that quantity means something. They're recorded knowing it doesn't. They're recorded racketeering uses of fake sites, real, even if, especially if real, but recorded fake sites, made up news crime acts with the state police associated with the Vega family and with the Weathersfield police, with on and off the Weathersfield Pizza, on and off the state judicial branch offices, houses, and businesses next to it, and recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with them with gun crimes, bug spray crimes, with the child sex offenders cliques, with the male and female judges, black and white, female judges involved crimes with child sex offenders, KKK and Confederate flag theme cliques, military, police, foreign, and domestic racketeering here. These are people pretending things, pretending emotions and passions juxtaposed with their physical delusions. They need to put something on paper since I was a kid, since other people were kids. We have real sick courts. Allah forbids. Now, on pantheism, I demonstrate that ISIS is in collusion with what the Quran is warning against, fake Muslims that pretend they're Muslims always. They're preventing the first part of the Quran from being talked about honestly. They're preventing the first part of the Old Testament from free speech too, here and there. We don't have free speech, you know. And you guys, your news companies are lying about pretending we have free speech. Fired police chiefs retired and standing involved with the standing ones involved racketeering roles here. Real sick natures associated with their family members, associated with speaking about wars and things, gathering. Oh, let's gather at the Mazzucato and speak about World War One. Get the hell out of here! Not you, Your Honor. Please give me a response and follow the mandated law. I promise you, not everything is 1,000% true. Every exception that might appear to be an exception, I'll show you. It's actually recorded in demonstration of the same thing true. That's what exceptions are for too. But it's true always. We have exception nature originally and still prohibited its function.